What's good, guys? You are at the Kickback with the Frequency Cafe. I am Babu or Coach Clement, whichever you want to call me, guys. It doesn't matter. We still going to get it rocking. This ain't the Signal Report, but this is from Noise the Signal as to let's talk about noise and identify it. I have a course. It is a trilogy. This is the first course called Find Your Signal. The remaining courses are on the Intelligent Entrepreneur Society is my platform. If you want a link, just hit me up and I'll send it to you. Somebody hit my music.
It's the Kickback. No cap, no script, just so we crack codes, not jokes, but laughter still rolls. Real talk, real folks, real flames getting lit. From the Matrix to the mound, yeah, we're built for this shit. You found the true spot, now breathing just vibe. It's your story, your rise, and we're here for the ride. Welcome to the Kickback.
Kickback.
The Ubuntu Trilogy by Babu, the Ubuntu Elder. Find your signal, drop the weight, walk your Ubuntu. 3 courses, 15 movements, 1 honest through line. From noise to signal, from weight to freedom, from knowing to living. A note before we begin. Coach Clement is not a therapist, and he does not claim to be one. What he offers is honest observation, shared experience, and a space free from judgment. If what you are carrying needs professional support, please seek it. This is not weakness, that is wisdom. What we do here is walk alongside, not replace. I am because we are. Course 1, Find Your Signal. Now this is going to be delivered at self-paced and audio. Movement 1, the noise inventory. Name it before it names you. There's a lot of noise out there. Some of it is loud, some of it is quiet, but very heavy. Most of us are so used to it, we forgot it was always there. Before we do anything else, let's just look at what you've been carrying. No judgment, just honesty. The teaching. Let me tell you what I mean by noise, because it's not what most people think. Noise isn't just the obvious stuff. The news cycle, the group chat that never sleeps, the notification stacking up on your phone. That's surface noise. It's annoying, but it's not the kind that reshapes you. The noise I'm talking about is the kind that gets inside the walls of your life and starts living in there. It's the voice that tells you what you should want. The schedule that fills itself up before you ever get a say. The comparison that creeps in the second you open an app. The obligation that masquerades as love. Over enough years, that noise stops sounding like noise at all. It starts sounding like you. Now here's a test I want you to run. When's the last time a thought, a want, or a decision felt like it came from somewhere quiet inside you? Not from a feed, not from a person you're trying to please, not from fear of what happens if you don't. If you can't remember, it's not a failure. That's just information. It tells you how deep the noise has gotten. And I remember Coach Clement, when he realized the noise he was carrying and without even knowing it. And that was when he was 16. And unfortunately, his dad took him to where his business was several hours away. And unbeknownst to Coach Clement, he was actually going to his dad's side piece's home for the summer. I mean, think about having to carry that because he did not want to break up his family because he loved his mom so much that he carried that for many, many years. He almost thought he was a failure. So just know you're not the only one that these things happen to. This is a form of noise for Coach Clement. But great news, he did overcome it. Okay, the reason we start here in movement 1 before any of the deeper work is simple. You cannot find a signal you don't know is buried. Most personal growth work skips this step. It jumps straight to do this affirmation or set this goal without ever asking what's actually underneath all that static. We're not skipping it. We're starting with that in the inventory. Now let's bring it to life. Tonight or tomorrow morning, take 5 minutes and just list. Don't organize it. Don't fix it. Don't explain it. Just write down everything that's been taking up space in your head and your chest lately. And obligations, fears, other people's opinions, old stories you keep replaying. Get it out of your body and onto paper. Then put a mark next to anything on that list that actually feels like yours. You hear me? Not what you're supposed to feel, what you actually feel when no one's watching. Okay, when did you last feel like yourself? Fully, quietly, without trying. Movement 2. The body knows. Your oldest intelligence never stops speaking. Your body has been talking to you for a long time. That tired, that sleep doesn't fix. That tightness that won't leave. That feeling when something's wrong before you can explain why. That's not a problem. That's you trying to reach you. Now here's the teaching. Before there was a language, before there was logic, before you ever learned to argue yourself out of a feeling, that was the body. It was the first intelligence you ever had. It kept you alive long before your mind had words for danger or safety. And it's never stopped doing that job. Even now, even when you've trained yourself to override it with willpower and deadlines. Now, here's what most of us do instead. We treat the body like an inconvenience. The tightness in the chest gets explained away as stress. The exhaustion gets blamed on a bad night's sleep. The gut feeling that says, don't go or don't say yes to this gets overruled by a calendar invite. We've gotten so good at managing the body that we forgot how to listen to it. My grandmothers didn't separate the body from spirit the way this culture teaches us to do. They understood that the body is where truth lands first, before the mind has a chance to talk you out of it. A tightening in the gut wasn't just anxiety, it was information. A heaviness in the chest wasn't just tired, it was a message arriving in the only language that couldn't lie to you. And again, Coach Clement, he told me a time where his body warned him before his mind caught up. And this was like he was fishing with some of his buddies. They were down at a spot called the Community Building. And in this creek it went in several directions. It connected to this big-ass river called Pasquotank River. And it was very muddy. But some of the older kids would go and swim in it. And a rites of passage, it finally came that year that it was his turn. Now, it had rained, it was muddy, and he knew that it would be really, really muddy at the bottom. And that's exactly where he was going because he couldn't swim yet. So he took that inside voice and did not go swim. And one of his friends, unfortunately, did and dang near drowned. So just be careful. I'm going to let you know that right now. Okay, this is why movement 2 isn't about fixing anything yet. It's about restoring the relationship. You don't need to diagnose every situation. You just need to stop talking over it long enough to notice it's been trying to reach you the whole time. Okay, let's bring it to life. Tomorrow morning, before anything else starts, go outside if you can. Stand still for 1 minute, just 60 seconds. Breathe once, like you mean it. Then, do a slow body scan, head to feet, and just notice where you're holding tension without trying to release it yet. Just notice awareness always comes before change. You can't release what you haven't admitted you're holding. What has my body been trying to tell me that I keep ignoring? Just listen. That's all. Movement 3. What was yours to begin with? Separating signal from inheritance. Not everything you're carrying is yours. Some of it came from family. Some from people who meant well. Some from a world that needed you to fit a certain shape. You picked it up so long ago, you forgot it wasn't yours to begin with. Now here's the teaching. I want to introduce a distinction that changes everything once you see it. There's a difference between inheritance and identity. Inheritance is what got handed to you. Beliefs, fears, definitions of success, rules about what's safe to want and what isn't. Identity is what's actually true about you underneath all of that. Most people spend their whole lives mistaking the first for the second. Think about how this happens. A parent who survives scarcity teaches you to fear risk, even in seasons when risk is exactly what you need. A community that values silence over confrontation teaches you that speaking up is dangerous, even when speaking up is the only way forward. A culture obsessed with achievement teaches you that rest is laziness, even when rest is what your body has been begging for since the movement 2. None of these people were trying to harm you. They were handing you their survival tools and calling them truth. The work here isn't to blame anyone for what they've handed you. It's finally to look at it honestly and ask, did this protect someone who needed it once? And is still protecting me? Or is it just wearing me down now? Some inheritances are still useful and some have expired. You don't know which is which until you actually examine them instead of just carrying them on autopilot. So I remember a time Clement told me about belief or ruling inhabitant, and that was that one side of his family kind of went to church a lot, and they tried to pass down that to him. And being an indigenous Afro-Cherokee American, they, basically went for the universal love, Mother Earth, Gaia, the wind, stars, moon. And actually, our material is made up of stardust. So we knew we weren't about no man-made type church. And he knew that at like 7. So I'll share that by him not falling or succumbing to those pressures, it kept him doing the sacred work that he's doing now. So just want to share that. And this is sacred work, not rebellious work. Separating signal from inheritance isn't about rejecting where you came from. It's about finally being able to choose with open eyes what you carry forward and what you set down with gratitude from the protection it once gave you. Now let's bring it to life for you. Take 3 beliefs you hold strongly about money, about love, about what's possible for you, and trace each one back. Where did it come from? Whose voice is actually underneath it? For each one, ask, is this still true for me right now in my own life, or is it just familiar? Am I living what I chose or what I was handed? No right answer, just an honest one. Moment 4, the first frequency, the thing you keep returning to. Something keeps coming back to you quietly, not loudly. You probably push it away more than once. Now here's the teaching. Every person I've ever sat with in coaching, in conversation, quiet moments after, going to meditation or after a long night has a frequency. Something that keeps returning no matter how many times life talks them out of it. A kind of work, a way of helping, an idea, a creative pull. A person that kept telling them about reconciling with, right in your head. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, it just keeps showing back up. Patient. Water finding its way downhill. We are taught to treat these recurring pulls as distractions from real life. The stable job is real. The side dream is a hobby. The persistent ache to do something different gets filled under some day and buried under bills and responsibilities. I get it, but I want to offer you another way of seeing it. A frequency that keeps returning after years of being ignored isn't a distraction. It's evidence. Static doesn't have that kind of staying power. Only signal does. Now, here's the test that separates frequency from a passing impulse. Impulse fades when ignored. Frequencies get louder, or they get quieter and sadder, but they never fully disappear. If something has survived years of you pushing it away, telling yourself it's not practical, watching other priority take its place, and it's still there, still tugging, that's not random. That's signal. And as Coach Clement says, if there's something an itch that you can't scratch, that's something that cannot be ignored. And it brings to mind, always hanging with his grandfather, and he always tells these great stories. His brother didn't have the same relationship he had with one of his grandfathers. And Coach Clement, was really, again, at a young age, he was a tree hugger. And his brother got pulled away to those treats. And his grandfather kind of knew that. And so he kind of felt, even coming from the same household, same upbringing and teachings, that you could hear things totally different. That's what really got him into the tone of your voice and how you spoke, a la frequency. So very important, the tone, the volume, if that message is going to be heard. You guys agree? So I'm not telling you to blow up your life over this. I'm telling you to stop pretending you don't notice it. The frequency doesn't need you to act on it today. It needs you to stop lying to yourself about whether it's there. Now let's bring it to life. Make a list of the things that have returned to you more than once over the years. Ideas, polls, people, callings, even ones you talk yourself out of. Now circle the one that has returned the most times in the most seasons of your life. That's usually the one worth paying attention to first. What keeps showing up in your life that you keep pushing away? Don't explain it. Just notice it. Moment 5, your next true step. Frequency-driven action. You don't need the whole path, just the next honest step. So here's the teaching. There's a trap that catches almost everyone right away after they find their signal. The demand for a master plan. The moment something becomes clear, a direction, a calling, a frequency, the mind immediately wants the whole staircase mapped out before it's willing to take the first bloody step. First year plan. Exit strategy. Certainty about the ending. And because that certainty almost never arrives, most people never move at all. Frequency-driven action works differently than plan-driven action. Plan asks, where does this lead in 5 years? Frequency asks, what is true right now? What's next honest move from here? That's it. You don't need the destination. You need the next step. That's actually aligned with what you found in movement 4, not the next step that looks impressive on paper. This is harder than it looks because frequency-driven action often looks small from the outside. It might be one phone call, one honest conversation you've been avoiding, 1 hour spent on the thing instead of the thing everyone expects you to spend your hour on. It really looks dramatic, but small aligned beats large and hollow every single time because aligned action compounds. It builds on itself in ways that performance never does. And think about the way Coach Clement gives his Top Cat AI signal reports. He does it in reviews. He chunks it up. Why do you have to read thousands of pages of information when you can get it in intelligent chunks, generated specifically for you and your niche? Make sense? So trust isn't a feeling you wait for it to arrive before you move. Trust is built on the moving. Every small step you take that honors what you found in this course is a deposit into a kind of trust you can only build one way, by proving it to yourself in small, honest moves that can be trusted to follow what's true. Now, let's bring it to life. Don't plan the next move. Plan tomorrow. Identify one specific doable action, something you could identify complete in a single day that moves you toward the frequency you named in movement 4. Do that one thing before you let yourself ask, but what about the bigger plan? The bigger plan reveals itself one honest step at a time, not the other way around. What would you do tomorrow if you trusted yourself completely? That's enough. Start there. I am because we are. Stay tuned for course 2, and thank you for finishing course 1. Babu, we're out.